Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Just want to kind of recap the market. As I know this is a public video, so anyone can watch this, and so I'm assuming you haven't really had a chance to follow me. So we're obviously in this bounce connector area. I still think it has more downside to come later. Maybe later in the summer, perhaps as soon as May, we start to pull back. So I can't really tell you the timing, but I do believe this euphoric, rally, is going to come to an end soon. If you just look at the 4-hour cycle, it is mature, right? It isn't going to do this all summer, guys. I hate to break it to you. We're not gonna stay up overbought all summer, right? We're not. I mean, it's not happening, right? This is it's gonna do something like this soon enough, right? Maybe it can go a little longer, but it's gonna pull back. All right, no big deal, right? Okay, no big deal. We got this pullback, right? We got this little drop there. You got this pullback. Got a little bit of a drop here. Okay, so it depends on. It doesn't tell you the degree of the drop. It just says a drop is coming. Now the daily cycle also is showing you, again, it's matured and it needs a drop. It's not going to just keep doing this all the way to October. It's not happening, right? This isn't happening. This daily cycle is about to come to an end. Last time this came to an end, look what happened. Catastrophe, right? Little do we forget. Well, this is coming again. I mean, just use your own mind. You objectively look what we see these pullbacks. Now, we could still get something like this, right? Something like that, right? But for the most part, we're going down. We're going down. We're not going to be going like this. So the market, with this little bit of euphoria, and dip buy-in, and they're trying to pump it into earnings, to get some liquidity, prime the pump, get squeezed. They're trying to get as much time for Trump as they can to, and that's coming to an end at any moment. It can even end tonight, guys. What if we could fade this whole move in tech tonight? For all we know, we don't know, but it's on borrowed time. Okay. This rally's on borrowed time. When the daily cycle changes, that's the bear's last chance to break these lows, to create this wave down. If they can't do that, then you'll look at something like this, right? And it's going to be something like this, right? And that's still in play. That's still in play, right? So which one is it? Well, is it this right here, or is it this? I don't know yet. We don't know. I just know that a pullback is at any moment. It's just going to happen, and we won't be prepared for it. I think they tried to do it today, and then of course the dip buyers came in, and so the sellers stopped selling because they're like, oh wait, you're not dead yet? Okay, well, let's back off a little bit. Let's see how high we can get this. Because remember, if you're a seller and you want to short as high as possible, because that makes you the most money, right? So if they realize there's all these still dip buyers coming in, they're just going to stop selling. They're like, all right, hey, if you guys want to keep buying, sure, what the hell? But at some point, the timing of the market is going to work against. You're running out of time, the rally. Like, I don't know if the market has enough time to get up to this 500 area in technology. I don't know if there's enough time left in the daily and 4-hour cycle to do that. That's why you may get something like this. I'll allow the daily to reset, the 4-hour to reset, and then the weekly cycle will just pull back a little bit, and then you can continue higher, and then the weekly cycle can reset. And then at this next peak here, you'll have the daily, weekly, 4-hour cycle back to overbought, back for a reset. And once the weekly cycle is on the side of the bears, then I think you have a really good chance at the much bigger follow through. I can't rule out this drop. But I would just say, just be careful, okay? Just be careful. But like I said, they want the market to go as high as it can go. I mean, they saved Trump's from losing his tariffs because of this pump. I mean, this pump, the vote failed in the Senate tonight. They were going to take away his power. I guarantee you, if we were trading down here, the Senate would have passed that bill. If we were trading down here, they would have passed that bill and would have overrode his veto. But up here, it doesn't go through the Senate. So again, if the Bacon cartel or Aladdin or whoever is trying to work against Trump or hates tariffs, let's just make the assumption that group of people want Central Bank of Japan, they hate tariffs. Well, they effed up because they pumped the market, and now they created a situation where there was no political pressure to pass that bill. So now that's off the table now. So now it's up, now it's not up to, and Trump's not going to cave, right? So he's not going to cave. So now it's up to the Supreme Court or somebody to get it at some point in the lawsuits. So now it's up to the courts now. But maybe even if we were red down 800-900 points today, the Senate could have had a different outcome. And we saw this with the TARP vote, right? Back in 2008, the first vote failed because the markets weren't really down enough. And then what did they do? Aladdin and the bankers, they crashed the market on that, and then they passed it real quick. So these votes are that fickle. They look at the market like you and I look at the market, and maybe they shouldn't do that, but they do. That's the era we live in. That's the time we live in. We live in a society and a time frame where everyone looks at the market and then decides what to do. And that's just the way it is right now, because we have it on our phone. We click a couple buttons. We're happy. We buy stocks. We're sad. We sell stocks, or we see it go down. We get angry. So it changes our decisions in real time because we get the market information in real time. We see our account balances fall and rise. And so that's what happened today. So anyway, guys, we got this pump. Could it keep going? Sure. I don't know exactly when, but we are running out of time. The futures haven't even taken this high out yet. Here's the future target. The future target. I'll give you one on the Nasdaq, and I think the daily cycle is going to is mature. And honestly, I don't know when they'll decide to turn it. I'm concerned that they'll turn it before this 570 level that everyone's fixated on. So the Russell's almost in this area of danger already. All right. So, and not big rally. Red today. Russell may have already peaked. In its top. It may have already peaked. Right? May have already peaked. And again, I'm waffling back and forth. Is it a 4 and a 5? Is it a 1-2-1-2? I can't really. I want to call it a 4 and a 5, but the longer we stay up here, it's another wave too. It has, I think, in my opinion. But this is what it is. This is the market we've got. So I'll go to your guys' super chats on Bitcoin. Like the show is in an area that it's getting all jammed up here. No follow through on tech earnings. You think you would have saw that? Probably a real nail biter. You got the 4-hour cycle. Looks like may have come to an end here on the RSI. Now maybe due for a little bit of a relief rally. Could create some a bearish divergence. So I can't rule out another high in Bitcoin yet. But the daily cycle just broke today. So again, we could make a higher high with some divergence. The daily cycle just broke. Okay, just broke. And then as you can see here, there you go. So the daily cycle may already be over. Bitcoin may have topped and no one realizes it yet, but me and you guys now. So what does that mean? Well, you could try to short it, but no, if you get stopped out on 957, it could do like a pop and then a drop. So just to run your stops, piss you off, and then you get the big drop. Because then you'll have massive bearish divergence across all time frames at that point. So you can't rule that out either. So it's just jammed up in here. It's just jammed up in here. What do I think? I think if the market's probably going to go higher, which it seems very likely, and they want to sell into tech, right? You still have big tech stocks on deck tomorrow. They're not going to crash this market before all those stocks are done. You buy into the earnings, you liquidate the chase after earning, and then when all that's said and done, then the thing will drop to drop the market. So I'm thinking that probably this will go up to 98, 99. I bet. I'll be surprised if they drop it into the earning before earnings comes out tomorrow. But I don't know. I can't guarantee it. But these are just some of my thoughts, guys. So I think it's like I said, it's jammed up in a very big confluence of support. It's jammed up in a big confluence of support, and of resistance here, and it's got to flip this, and it's having trouble. And some of the altcoins look like they may have topped already, like Litecoin. If we again, we didn't get to the 90 target, kind of turned a little sooner. Now Ethereum, it's kind of like Bitcoin, maybe. Solana, that's a pretty big return there. And again, we're just bleeding down slowly. It's kind of what happened with oil, and then eventually it just kind of dives down. So again, the daily and 4-hour cycle on the stocks, daily cycle is working against you. The dollar index is also going to maybe start to work against you too in crypto soon if this plays out. All right. Japanese yen shows that if this is to count, then we got a lot of selling coming, and maybe we won't get that tech pump tomorrow if this is to count. Now, if this isn't to count and we get another pump here, the markets are going to rally just like they did here. But it's stuck in the middle. It's jammed up in the middle. Okay. It does look like 5 off that low. So and it looks like 3. So don't get caught up in the double correction higher. Okay. Central Bank of Japan has been buying and pumping the stock market. And God knows why. Maybe it's part of their trade deal. Maybe they're, they just, doing it as a good faith gesture for Trump to start negotiations off on the right foot. Maybe they have some other problem, because I know they were, buying ETFs for many years, and maybe they can't take the losses. Maybe they've levered up against those. Who knows? But they'll destroy their currency to keep stock markets up and allow inflation to keep the market pumped. So when this happens, it's definitely going against their will, their grain. And that's why I think Central Bank of Japan is our Aladdin. And that is this wave down or breakdown is Aladdin starting to get blown up. The Japanese central bank is blown up somehow. They're not able to control the market the way they normally are. And they're already losing control. I mean, geez, we can see that. And I think they will. And then that won't work. The yen carry trade won't work anymore as a vehicle to pump the markets, and then it will have to find its new price level based on, without having that effect in the market anymore. The UVIX shows that maybe also we made higher highs, but the VIX are making higher lows here, and here. That's a hidden divergence within the market. But it's a hidden bearish divergence. If the VIX is building higher lows and the market is making higher highs, that means quietly the market is ready to turn, and people are shorting, and they're distributing, and they're preparing for the sell-off, while retail's chasing the price higher and higher. We see this all the time. I mean, this is how the market always bottoms. Typically, the VIX builds higher. Okay? The VIX still has a higher low, and we closed at a higher price. So those are things you need to pay attention to. These are the facts, guys. It's not my emotion. This is just, you can see it in front of your face right now. These are the things we're dealing with at the moment. So a reversal in the market's imminent, but I don't know you know, I think it's unknown where we go with the reversal. I think it is the bears' like last chance to break the lows in the near term. And I wonder if we fall short of 573, if we get rejected here at 557, 558, 59, we get something like this, something like that. Wouldn't that destroy everybody? Destroy the bulls to that, you know, destroy the bulls, destroy the bears. I mean, that would do it. And then maybe you put 2 here, and then you trade like this through May and June, right? So just something to think about. Couple ideas out there. Okay, let's go to your super chats, guys. And again, if you like what I talk about on this and you haven't followed me, you can join my channel. I appreciate joining. It's only $5 a month for basic members, and again, we're close to 300 members. And when I get to 500, I'm going to increase the perks. I'm going to increase the number of symbols I monitor, and I won't increase the price, of course. And so just tell your friends. If everybody that's a member just tells one person, for $5, we would be there and at our goal. So that's my goal, and I'm hoping to get there at some point. Okay, guys. I'll just start at the top here with the super chats like I normally do. So Keith, C and MSOS, I'll go through those for you. All right. So as you know, the market's in a connector wave, and as you know, the market is, do a pullback at some point. Let me find it. There we go. Okay, markets do a pullback. So we have to think about that as we look at our stocks. Let's take a look at Citigroup as a financial. Let's take a look at where we are with that. I'm surprised we have never charted this for anyone. We all remember this catastrophe. I mean, damn, right? Obviously, that is the end of the grand super cycle, right? For that stock. Now the question is, where is it now? Is it a go to zero? Is it, you see how you made this higher peak? No divergence. The monthly cycle is wide open to the downside. So, I mean, without labeling this wave, it's corrective, but you see how there's only three here, and it looks like 5 off this low. I bet it's a flat. I bet we're doing a flat here, right? Because it's either that or it's going bankrupt, right? And I don't think it's going to go bankrupt, right? But you can't rule that out, right? Given the market setup here. So let's take a look at where we are. I had this as 3 up because we have no divergence, but I don't know if I can make out 5 waves out of this mess. Let's take a closer look. 1, 2, then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Another 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe a 3, 4, 5, right? And you see how you have all these overlapping waves. Typically, that's not a 3 with all, because there's no extension. I don't see an extension in 3 here. So it'd be another 1, 2. And now you're kind of jammed up in this 3-wave move. So if you look, this looks like 3 up in an ABC. This drop reset this cycle here, right? That drop reset this cycle, so we got to relabel this as an A, B, C, and then you have another A, B, C, which is a corrective move, right? So this could be a couple things. From a bearish standpoint, that could be it, and it could go all the way down and break these lows. Wouldn't that be that would be crazy. Now, it could also be something different. It could be something different. It could be maybe a lead in diagonal coming out. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then you get an ABC out in 5, and then you get a big pullback back down here. Something like that. Again, so it's either this or it's a go to 0. So you could wait for the 5th wave, wait for the pullback, which you probably have to wait years, or you just stay away from it. I just see this as 3 waves, but there's no reason to think it's going to go down. Like, it still could be 4. Now this is pretty short for 3, but that means 5 would be even shorter, right? So I think you can look at the monthly here. As you can see, you're still in the monthly cycle. Now, if that monthly line breaks, then I have to say it's a corrective bounce. There is going to be no 5, and this company's toast. It's gone. It's game over, and I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't. All I know is we have 3 waves. We're looking for a 4. The 4 looks like it should hold this level, right? It should hold that. If that's 4, right? Because you have 3 down here. Right? You hit the buy area exactly and you react it. So it's got to hold that level. So I think as long as you hold this 56.63, you're in 4. If you break it, you're gonna risk a deeper correction. And then you're starting to maybe break the monthly cycle. But it still may be able to be saved. So I would just leave it unlabeled for now. I think you have to label it this way until the mark. But if you take this out, I'd be very nervous owning this, because that would get you down to this like $32, $31 level. That would touch this line. Here, the historic trend line, and then at that point it's just corrective. So I think for now, as long as it's above 55.91, maybe you can expect some more upside. Looks like you have an impulse, a cycle that's over already. Kind of looks like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. So you don't have an impulse yet. So it needs to take out 69.35 with bearish divergence to confirm this bottom. If it can't, then the double correction's in play. So it's really jammed up in the middle. Good luck on that. I hope that's enough information to make a good decision on what to do there. All right, MSOS. So this one, like I said, I gave this update, guys, on my last live stream, and I said, hey, when we were here, I was like, it could go to new lows, but I said CGC was your clue that it probably wouldn't, because CGC showed 5 waves. Well, what do you know? It didn't go to new lows, and it just extended higher. So that's good. So of course, it looks like the bottom's in now, right? Bottom's in now. So we'll just kind of keep drawing our waves, seeing where we're at, right? A nice, beautiful impulse that maybe needs one more high, but you see that divergence. It could end at any moment. That could have been it right there. But now that you have this nice 5 waves up, this low's in, 205's in, because it should make another swing higher at least. And again, I can't guarantee everything, but I believe that's the count right now. And then, of course, a pullback. Right, something like that. And then the real fun begins potentially in wave 3, right? The vertical wave. That's what you're hoping for. So this is the most likely path, for now. But again, it can change. And I think you really want to stay above 260. right? But if you do pull back deeper, I wouldn't get too worried about it. But I think, yeah, I think this is probably the path. So CGC was the clue that this was going to happen when we were here, because they had already made 5 waves. And our elite members were watching CGC, right? We were watching that. That's why we knew that. That's why I mentioned it, because we were looking at CGC if it gave us a pullback, which it didn't. It just took off. Okay, good luck on that. Okay, let's see. Next is Whiffcoin. I think it's a crypto. Yeah, crypto. Dog whiff. Let me see here. Let's see here with yeah, I guess it depends on where you look at it, what exchange you look at. So as you can see here, we broke this low, so it's in a bearish decline, but it looks like it's in a flat, right? It's a flat. We know crypto's going to go lower. I mean, my forecast is crypto's going to go lower, and I keep saying if the king goes down, so does the kingdom. So the king's about to go down soon, any moment, I believe. Now I can be wrong, and then that means this forecast is wrong too. But I do believe that's going to happen. That's going to happen. Now, if and if it does, it's just as likely to continue to go lower. Right? But there could be some trades. There could be some trades. Well, I suspected it's a 4. Most of the altcoins are in 4s right now. Almost every altcoin I click on is a 4. So we're not talking but we are talking another low. But most altcoins are in 4s right now. Higher degree 4s. This one, like the other I showed earlier, this could be already done. Let's see. Now you see how we did extend through the 618, so it may double correct higher, so the 4 can make another swing higher. That's what that means. So maybe it's not done just quite yet. 95.104. So I think this is the area of danger. Here, in this area, and it would be correct in. See, it's gonna be like a bounce like this, pretty significant. And then you should get like one more low. And that should complete the flat pattern. Maybe there's a Fibonacci level we can look at. There is one, 18.9. So maybe that's that area could produce a reaction when it's hit. All right, so good luck on that. And perhaps, if you hold long enough, you'll be okay. And so there's a confluence in this little box. There will be a confluence. So I'll be targeting that little box right there. Okay, and then CRV. CRV, guys. What is CRV? Here, there it is. Crypto. I don't have that, so we'll have to do that. Okay. Oh, it looks like we did have it. So we had this buy box here, kind of accumulation, dip below it a little bit. Let's go ahead and chart this here. So we had 5 up, 3 down, and this is a connector, right? Because we broke the lows right there, right? That's what messed us up. But as you can see, there's 3 down. That's probably the bottom. But we'll check the RSI, and it is right around there. And then you got the big, you're in a connector wave. So now you're in a connector wave that's likely to fail, but not yet, right? This C leg will keep going. It's like Bitcoin, right? It's just gonna it has to finish an impulse. 1, 2. Let's go to a smaller time frame and look at it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're almost done this wave 3. So it looks like you still need a 4 and a 5, right? If I have it labeled right. So you see all that bearish divergence? I bet that's going to erase. I bet it's going to go higher and do something like this. Let me draw this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in this 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. And then you'll get a nasty pullback, one more high. You should, this is what I think you'll see. Something like that. I think that's what we're looking for. Something like that. Could I be, I mean, there's always a possibility I'm off by a swing, because I mean, if Bitcoin topped, then that 5 is done. And I just have to tweak the label a little bit, I maybe this is too aggressive, right? Maybe I need to sync it up with Bitcoin a little bit more. So maybe I need to do this, right? So you see how it's tough right now labeling, like that's why I don't like to just trade based on labels. But you do have a lot of bearish divergence, so it is showing signs of the wave 5. So unless you can erase that divergence, there is possibility that this is C is over. And the daily cycle, the daily cycle though is reset pretty, see, a lot different than Bitcoin. It could go higher, so it could erase divergence. So I guess I'm maybe leaning toward the more bullish option. I'm leaning toward the more bullish, where it erases divergence and then pulls back later. So I'm leading to something like that. And you'll have to decide what to do. But the problem is with breaking this low, you should get another leg lower. And then whenever this ends, we can project the buy on the next leg down. Because you should get another leg down just like this. Because you broke that low. Because it doesn't look like a flat to me. It doesn't look like a flat to me. It looks like it's still in this connector. All right, let's see MOWI. See, we've looked at this one before. Let's take a look at what we got going on. Let's trace. We have this. We have that C and B. So we'll probably put that W here, just like the markets. We're in X. So where is it going to end? Could it already have ended and we don't know? Probably not. Again, 1, 2. It's like, where's the connector? I think the connector. So as you can see, that's a peak, that's your connector. But the problem is you haven't taken the high out. So if you're below 194.3, the X is in. Now, if the market can take that level out, it's going to extend higher. So I'll give you another area, but the problem is I don't know if no one will know if that's going to happen or not unless you make the market, unless you're a market maker, and I'm not a market maker, right? I can't make the price go higher if I want to. So if you can't take this high back out, X is done. And the cycle is already over, right? It's already over. This cycle is over. You've peaked and you've already pulled back. Worst case, you're already in wave 2. And you're ready for a big move down. Like I can do this. Like we can do, this is a legitimate situation. And then the correction ends. For either another bigger rally or the low. So I think right now you need to take this high out. Until then, I wouldn't entertain buying it. Now we can look at the other stochastics. The daily cycle wants to go down, right? And wants to make a pullback. Now it could stay up here a little bit longer. You see how it's trying to break out a little bit. So it wants to probably make this push higher. Let's look at the weekly. You see the weekly's way oversold. I don't know if there's enough juice in the weekly to take it down like this. So it's probably a better, assumption you're going to take this high out, because the weekly is going to help you do that. But in the shorter time frame, you may get a pullback. Let's look at the 4 hour. So you've already pulled back on the 4 hour. So my bet is it's going to come up here. Then you'll have a better chance than at a bigger drop. It's just hard for me to believe the weekly cycle where it is going to pull it down. If it does, the dip may get bought. We may get 3 waves and then come back up and then change the target lower. So I think it's a tough call. It's in the middle. It's called in the middle area. And the middle area means it's an area of indecision the market is in, and it's waiting for one side to make a move. It's essentially a stalemate right now in the market on this instrument. So if you break the high, then you can be more aggressive with buying the pullbacks. And if you break this low, then you're looking at a bigger drop. But I would be surprised. It probably won't be like a straight down drop like this, because the weekly cycle is already so oversold. It'll probably be very erratic and overlap. Like it'll be very wavy and hard to make any money on the downside as it goes down. So and it could even do something like this. It could even do something like this, right? Or it can even do this. I guess it can even do this, right? These are these things, right? Like that. So it can do a lot of things. Unfortunately, we're jammed up in the middle. I mean, could we go to new highs? Let me think about that. I don't think so. I think it's going to have another leg lower. We weren't able to take this peak out. This is 3 waves up, not 5. It's likely to fail. This connector will fail and go lower. It's just likely to do that, in my opinion. Good luck on that. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let your winners ride. Duke Energy. Yep, there we go. Duke Energy. All right. How's this one doing? Looks like that wave 3 worked out, that we must have forecast a long time ago. Again, I don't know. My drawings all get jacked up on this trading view sometimes. It looks like we had a 1-2 here, like that. Get rid of this thing. Yeah, and then you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you had another 1, 2. Let me go back and see what I had. Something like that. I think it's probably here. Something like that. So then we are in the 5th wave, the 3rd wave of the 5th wave, like we expect it to be. And now we need to trace that out and see where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your peak. There's your bearish divergence. Your weekly cycle making bearish divergence. Even in the stochastic RSI, you have bearish divergence. That's a huge risk for reversal. So this is about to reverse at any moment in wave 4. So I think this is the count where we're looking at something like this, and then a significant pullback that's likely to come all the way back down to this area for a tremendous long opportunity for the real big push. And it may not go this deep. It may not go that deep. That may be a little too bearish, but I think that's the count we're looking at. And then this would be 1, 2. I wouldn't put 3 here because the wave 3 cluster is way in the back. It's probably another 1, 2. It's probably 1, 2, 1, 2. Something like that. But it does look like a pullback, a pretty big one. Either has already started and people don't realize it yet, or it's about to. It may have already started. If that's the case, you know, we would see 104, right? This would be a connector, right? Looks 3 waves down. Now see, that looks 5 waves up here. So, again, we can't get too bearish. Could that be wave 4 right there? Yeah, so there's a chance wave 4 is already done. So there's a chance this wave 4 is already done here. And we need one more push higher. Something like that. That's how I would label it, because there's 5 off the low. And since there's 5 off the low, I'll just label it this way. And I'd be looking for the final move higher. The final wave higher. Then before a really big pullback. So now, so this too could be this could be a corrective move, and you could dip again, and then you could try to buy that because you have 5 off the low. You could try to buy this dip if it happens down to 118, 117 area. This area here could be a dip buy opportunity for you, and then you could finish the move higher. That's the idea. But this is the important level, 112.06. But I think I wouldn't be surprised, because if you look, I don't really see 5 off that. So I think you are susceptible to another dip down, another pullback here, and then perhaps you get that final wave higher. Okay, EPD. Let's take a look. So this one's been pretty bullish. See, this took out all the peaks, so that's probably a wave 3 of 3. The monthly hasn't yet, so there's probably still some more upside, but you're obviously in the wave 3 right here. Right? So the question is where in the wave 3 are you? It looks like this whole cycle's done on this crash correction. So whatever this was finished, was reset here. Right, it's probably reset there. And then it surged higher here. The typical wave 3, you know, it's so tight. No real dips. You know, no opportunity to really buy the market. Everything's just really tight here. One, 2, 3, 4. Like a little blow off top there. Yeah, something like that, I'm thinking. So yeah, so one more high. Same thing, probably going to make another high. I bet that low holds, but let's look, see if we got an impulse off the bottom or not. Looks like you had a crash correction and some kind of flat maybe. Like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Trying to see where we draw the peak. I don't know. I think again, I see 5 waves here though. This one did take out the high here, right there. Like the other one didn't, right? We looked at earlier. So this is probably 5 off the low. Right, and now it's pulling back. And it should continue higher. I think it continues higher in this 5th wave, and then you get another pullback later. So it looks like this could you know, it's hard to see if it's finished this wave 2 yet. It looks like a flat, maybe, if that's the connector right there. That puts you at 29.52, 29.27, right in this area. So perhaps it's a dip buy as well in this little box here for another push higher. You want to hold this low, if not the 4, it will turn into something else, and then we would have to probably put the 4 here and then call the major cycle done, and then you'll just double correct. So it's a very aggressive buy. Just know you're kind of buying at the end of the move, right? Look at this entire move. You're buying at the end of this whole move. You're buying at the very end, the tippity, the top, right? So you're playing with the last little bit of juice. There may not be any more juice left, but I think it's 5, and that's why I think it can go higher. All right, yeah, how's Pfizer doing? It's one we haven't looked at in a while. It broke some really nasty pivots on us. As you can see, we tried to back into the low on this, and it failed. And now it's in a lot of trouble, technically. All right. So again, here, it's in a lot of trouble, technically, and the thing about this is you're at the grand super cycle. Obviously, in a grand super cycle correction, but the big dilemma is this bounce failed, right? This bounce corrected this whole cycle, so it is a WXY. We haven't erased divergence yet, so we're still in the correction. I mean, it could see $15 maybe. It's hard to believe, but I mean, this is what the technicals are telling us. This is probably this bounce here. It's correcting this entire leg. So this is the first leg of Y finishing up. So it looks like to me you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for an A. Or let me, sorry, here. 1, 2, 3, connector, 1, 2, 3. So we'll have to relabel that as a W, some kind of X, and then Y later. Now this X wave could end at any moment, but it could go a little bit higher. It can go a little bit higher. Now if it goes any higher, see, here's the thing. There's a possibility you're still in this connector though. So this is the most bearish case, but then there's another setup that's more like this. Like that. The expanded flat. If I think to get that, you're going to need to go to the weekly cycle and break, I think break this this downtrend line from here. You'll need to break that. I can't rule this out just like this. I can't rule I can't rule that scenario out. Nor can I rule out this scenario. But whatever scenario it is, like I can't rule that out either. But whatever it is, it's going to end up with more downside at some point. So maybe you could trade it long as your stop is above 2090, and maybe you can get a little bit of upside, or you get super lucky and can get to 33. It's just I just don't we just don't know but it isn't finished here yet. I can't do that. I wouldn't want to label it that way. But I wouldn't be surprised if it plays around like that. Okay. And then this other one, Lucf, a miner. Looks like we had that dip buy nailed there on that. Look at that. Boom. And we have 5. We're in 5 unless we've erased divergence. Let's go to a 4-hour. So a lot of divergence there. That looks like 3 of 5 right there. So we are just like I suspect we're at this wave. Looks like, so this is tricky. You see how we have no divergence, but we only have it looks like it could be 5. Let's go to a lower time frame. Yeah, okay, so it's an impulse. So I think the way to look at this wave is you're still in 5 and you're in some kind of 1. You're in 2 here. So I think it goes higher, but I don't know. 2 could be done here. This could be a very bullish setup, right? This, right, for the last little bit higher, or it could be in a flat and come back down to this area. But I think it's got more upside left in it, no matter what happens. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's take a look at Devon. So Devon, you know, Devon is contingent on our oil forecast, guys, and it's, you know, oil is behaving according to plan, right? I mentioned to basic members we had a short maybe at 67, 68, but then when it started to break down here once we broke 61.49, I pretty much said you could just go short it, put your stop at 64.87, and sure enough, it's been going straight down ever since. We're looking at oil to make a stop somewhere around, I think it will break $50 and go into the 40s before its next big consolidation. That could be multi-month consolidation before the final capitulation move. So Devon Energy could be in a bear market all year. Okay, so Devon Energy may be one of those stocks you just have to short and just kind of like a stock you buy. You buy it and you don't touch it for a year or so. Like it's one of those types of shorts. I mean, I can't rule out the crash, you know, just crash it. Market can crash. We've all seen that. But this is the most probable path of oil. So Devon Energy probably will mirror that to some extent, you would think. You would think it would do that. So Devon Energy here. So let's take a bigger zoom. Let's zoom out. So Devon Energy, we had this ABC for a W. We had an ABC for X. And then we had this ABC here for connector, another connector. And then there's a bigger bounce, and we failed that. So now we got to swing down even more. So we have another swing to go. It's like I said, it's mirroring oil. The thing about this is where do we end up? And that's the tough question. We could see $15 or $10. We could see this area here. You know, the retest, the breakout low even, which would be crazy. So that area, that would be the nice symmetrical wave push down here. This wave here would be this could be either A, B, C, and we fall short, we get to 20, or this could be just 1 or 2 of Y, and that's what I'm suspecting it may be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get a bounce, and then we go down, something like that. I suspect it's something like that is what I'm thinking. And it does look like I must have had this short box. We just must have missed it. Now, below 32, 36, the bears are in control of this, okay? Now, if it can come back above that, it will double correct in two, right? And again, our X wave was they took it right to the edge. So the bears are barely in control of this market, but they are winning slowly. But eventually we'll get a big capitulation move, like we always see, like we saw here, right? You're going to see that type of waterfall sell-off. And I think that's coming sooner than later in the energy market. So I'll go with this for now. I think this is the safe play. Let's look at chart support. So there's a lot of chart support here. Look at that. There's like a lot of chart support, right? You see where I just draw a line through the most of the wicks, right? Look up here to this area, right here. So that's going to be a lot of support. So it's going to be tough to get through this area, this $15, $16 area. That's probably where I would be targeting an entry. But I bet when this B comes, I bet it's going to really like squeeze up and then come back down like that. It's going to do something. So you're going to have to be very good with how you manage that short position and how you're playing that when this B comes, if this is to count. So that's what we're looking for. That's what oil is saying. There's no reason to think it's going to get a bigger connector or anything yet. Now, we could still get a bigger wave too, but it's looking less and less likely each day. Okay? Let's take a look at our next super chat. BBD. All right. Looks like we've looked at that one before. Looks like another one we're calling right. Looks like we got a big breakout come in. So far, it looks like we got a 1-2-1-2 setup. So again, wouldn't mess around here. Just kind of stay long and hold. This is a Brazil, right? Then I just read the Brazil broke out of its like bear market downtrend, right? From like multi-year downtrend on their ETF. I have to check that out, but there you go. There's no reason. I would just be holding. I would just be holding that as this continues to play out. But like all good things, it comes to an end, sadly, which I'm not surprised, because there is going to be a big risk-off event in this market. Is Citi Aladdin? I don't think so. I think Citi's just obviously looks like a mismanaged financial institution. If you looked at their chart, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it represents, but I'm not familiar with them. But yeah, Citi, Starbucks. Yeah, Starbucks. Sold off on earnings, and it's finding a tough time with the American consumer right now, even though they have the all-star CEO. And this is like a couple things, but we have to take a good look at this, because I've looked at Starbucks before. So the worst case scenario is this is a massive wave 5 extended top. Your wave 3s are here, right? I have it as an extension, but I can change this label to make this a 3, a 4, and some kind of 5 here, and then this is a flat. And I'm starting to think that's what we need to do, because look, we're about to break the monthly downtrend line. Right? Once we break that, we're in a flat. So I think that's what we're going to have to go with. We'll have to go with that. There's really no alternative count that I could think of that works. Let me just kind of zoom back out here. 1, 2. We'll put the 3 there, a 4 there. Put that 3 there, that 4 there, and put that 5 there. So it looks like the grand super cycle ended here. You're in this flat. You're jammed up in a flat. And that is good and bad. The good is that means it will be going to all-time highs in the future. If you're a long-term investor, that's good. The bad is it's going to go lower, and it's likely to see this 4 cluster when it's all said and done. Now, it doesn't have to go that low, but it's just the common area where these things come to an end. So I'll be looking for this. Also, this sector, consumer discretionary food stocks look like crap. All the other ones I track, I don't want nothing to do with them. And this is why I'm not surprised Starbucks got caught up in this. This is some wave 2 here. It's just going to keep going down. Let's take a look. Maybe that first wave is finished here, or you're already into, like, see, that looks like 3. We have to go to a 45-minute to see this wave better. So here you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I do get 5 out of that. All right, so that's a 1. So it's probably finished the first wave down. So you're gonna get a rally, right? It's gonna. I mean, you're gonna get a counter trend rally. That's what's coming here. I would expect you'll get a counter trend rally. And how high it goes, I'm not sure. But it's likely to fail and just continue lower into this area at some point. But I think this wave is done, right? I think this wave looks finished to me. The worst case scenario is it's a 1, 2, 1, 2, and this is a 1, 2, and it crashes. So I don't want to like buy it and hoping for a big pump. I'm just labeling it the most likely path. It looks like you're still in the correction, you see? So you're not in wave 2 yet. So this could be we could still label this as wave 5. So I think I should just leave it labeled this way for now. Okay, and you know what? If wave 5 just drops for some reason, I mean, then it could be over. The whole thing. It may not take up much time at all. But I think it's in a flat. I think you're in a flat. The area, like if I wanted to buy this without chart, I would want to buy it in this area, $40. I mean, that would be the area. I would let the market come to me, and I'll let it come to me and buy it there, and then play for the grand super cycle wave 3, which this would be a generational long. But this, Starbucks isn't going anywhere, guys. I mean, it's going to be around years and years. It's not going anywhere. So it'll come out of this eventually. I thought it was maybe finished already. See, this one would have tricked me up to, and almost did here. I thought we were potentially in a 1, 2, 1, 2 when we were trading down at 71 and 72. I thought it was a very bullish setup, but obviously the flat is what happened. So we did not get that. Market was not ready for 3 of 3. They're just not ready for it, but it wants to. Bad. They want to reward the CEO because Wall Street loves this CEO. He was the Chipotle CEO that moved over, and I think they desperately want to pump this stock so bad and like give him, the glory of turning it around. And I think that will come soon enough. But you see, this is the target. This is what I'd be looking for. Like right, maybe I draw this line a little bit different. Maybe that's a little bit better. So maybe, yeah, I mean, a breach of that would make sense because you're correcting the whole thing. Do you think more down is coming with a large monthly hammer or wave 5 up? Let me see. Go back to your question. I'm not sure which question you asked. Floyd's Garage. I'm not sure which one you're referencing, or I'll answer it. All right, PBR, another Brazil, Petrobras, but it's in energy, right? It's in energy. It's in a box here. It's in a box here. Let's see. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So I had it peaked, and we have 3 down, 3 up. I mean, that could be, I mean, if I was just playing the chart. But you see all that bullish divergence there? That you shouldn't see that. Now the daily, you've erased it. You've erased it. That's the most important, the higher time frame. The lower time frame is not as important, but it also is a warning sign. So I think I'm leaning toward, and given their forecasted energy, you have one more sequence lower. You're probably still in C. My thinking. Let's look a little bit closer at this bounce. Five waves down. So that's 5 down. This bounce is only in corrective. So yeah, I would be careful. I wouldn't, you know, I think it's, if at the minimum one more push down in and then maybe it can find a bottom. Again, it trades with the energy. I personally wouldn't buy it here. It doesn't have the right look to me. It isn't the right level, which is why it's finding buyers. But I don't, when I look at oil, when I look at all the other things going on in the market, I wouldn't be surprised to see this push lower. All right, and until we could get a better reaction higher, I wouldn't call this done. Now, if we could get a better reaction higher, then the cycle's over. But I think right here is a big gamble, because you could be buying a wave 2 of C, right? And it could do that. It can easily break through our box, go down, which I think that's how I want to label it, to be honest with you. I want to label it this way for now. But yeah, at some point it'll be an incredible buy. So you definitely want to keep an eye on it. I don't know if I would do it. I don't know if I would have the guts to buy this right now. Now, what is interesting is on the higher time frame, you only show 3 up. Now, that would be a go to zero situation, right? See, you only show 3 up. That's why you don't want to buy it here either, because technically you only have 3 up on the higher time frame. What if you have one of these types of candles just collapses? Again, amazing opportunity, but it does, look at these fractals. I mean, it can collapse. I mean, we've seen these collapses in the past. You do not have 5 off that low, right? You still don't have 5 off this low. We have to go to the quarterly chart. So you're not in danger of that situation. You have to break if you break that line, then you're in the danger of the collapse. But you have to understand where you are. Look at the quarterly stochastic. You are full open to the downside. So it looks like it is in, which is oil is in that phase, right? Oil is in a big drawdown. That's probably likely to do that, just like you saw here. And just like you saw here, right? That's what we don't want to buy to do. Even though technically it's finding buyers where it should, you can see the reactions. It's a pathetic, weak reaction, and that will eventually dry up and drive prices lower. You have all this overhead supply too right here, right? You're now below it with that support turn resistance. It's gonna be hard to get back over that. So I think this is the path. I'll probably want to even just get rid of that right now. I think it's going to just do one of those nose dives. I don't know how deep it will go. Like you saw, that one didn't go too deep, but then you have these that go are catastrophic, right? We don't know which degree, but I think one of those is coming. One of those is coming. All right, let's take a look at. Let's take a look at Sharon. Sharon, mind your take on MOS. Yeah, sure. MOS. Let's take a look at that. Mosaic. Okay, I like Mosaic a lot. It's been really a battle. Big support area. It's finally pulling out in a wave 3, but I do believe it's a C wave. But this is one of those C waves that can take it, I think, super far. I do think at some point it will end and go lower, but I think it could be in a bull phase for quite a while now. And this is something our elite members we've been watching it. We've seen it break out, and I think it's just going to continue higher. If you can get a 3-wave pullback, I would buy it. I think this is something that I like. You know, it is obviously 4 hours way overbought. Okay, so a pullback. This impulse is going to correct at any moment, like the rest of the market, right? And when it does, I would just look to go buy the dip on this. Let's take a look at where we are in the wave. It looks like it may have already started to peak here a little bit. So you're in like a 5 of 5 here. So this thing's ready to pull back at any moment. So your question is potential support and sell-in target. So we don't have a sell-in target yet, but typically you wait for the wave 4 area cluster. So that may be this. So that's probably the first wave 2. So let's label it and see where our wave 4 is. We'll put that 1, 2, 3. Probably need to put that 2 there. Put that 2 there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're in 5. Your 3 ended. So your support will probably be. It might backtest this resistance now turns support. Right, well, it'd be 28.45. I bet that's what it does. I bet you may go up a little bit higher, and then you pull back to back test that at some point, right? And do something like this. You back test this, and then go. That's what I think. So where does this 5 end? It could end at any moment, honestly, and it already is start. You see, it's already starting to do that, but. You know, it's so tough, and we don't know. So I don't know. It can just keep extending. It doesn't have to. It could keep just extending, erasing divergence, and really take off, guys. It's a big reversal. Like this may not happen. You may not get a pullback. But if we do, like our elite members, like I'm watching it. If we can get this kind of pullback, we want to buy it. Right. So maybe that's the play right there. And then you can get another 1, 2, and hopefully come out of this. Okay. When let's take a look at this one. So as you can see how we broke that low, so it negated the bullish setup on the C leg, right? Because you had 3, now you have 5 down. So you still are going to bounce because you have 5 down, but you're not. It's not the same setup anymore. It's a different count. So we have this wave 5. The question is, where are we on the? See, it's already coming out. See all that bullish divergence? It's a 5 of a 5, right? I mean, that's what we're in. We're in a 5 of a 5 of some kind. So I mean. Your guess is as good as mine. It's probably starting to be accumulated, and you're just going to have to stick your neck out and buy it, because I don't know. Like, we don't make the market. We don't know when they're going to pump it, but it should be pumped. And see, that's probably the wave 3 right there. So like I said, it's probably in a 5 of 5 already. Something like that. Maybe it's in an ABC. ABC. Right? Could need one more low. Yeah, maybe So it could be that. It could be this. And then pump. And it could pump back up from wherever it is to the wave 4, which would be about 359, potentially even as high as $10. So I don't know. I can't predict the future. I'm just telling you what I see right now. It looks like people are buying it. It's in a 5 of a 5. You pretty much have bullish divergence on every time frame, right? This is going to break out, right? Look at it. I mean, it's going to break out, right? It's a matter. It's not a matter if it's going to happen. I just look at the weekly. It's overdue for a pump. Now the daily may be that final push lower. So that daily may be that this final thrust lower, but it's any second, any moment. I don't know. It could, like I said, I would say for this one, support in selling. I would say if this is the chart, the area of support here would be at like 98, 91 cents in this area. If it's not, and you break 124, then it's probably going to take off, and that's probably it. So it's tough. You're right. You're right on the edge. And again, I have to have it labeled right. I'm labeling it as an ABC, ABC, ABC. If it's not that, then of course it's going to go a lot lower. So I think that's what I would go with. I think it's something like this. So I think you're just going to have to trade it. Be smart about it. But is it overdue for a pump? Oh yeah, it definitely is overdue. It needs one, and it's gonna get one. It's gonna get one. All right, let's take a look at some crypto XCN. All right, let's take a look at that. Looks like that's one we've looked at before. Looks like we nailed that one, right? We have one more wave down. It looks like that's where it ended. And then a pump, vertical. So now you just go from these lows, right? It looks like 5 waves up from there. Wow, look at all that divergence. But that's a massive extended 5th wave. But that's common in crypto. Crypto, you get massive extended 5ths, which is why the corrections take forever. So a lot of times, just so you know, you lose the whole 5th. You haven't done that yet. So don't be surprised if this comes back down here. So I would not be surprised it does that. It looks like you have 3 down, 3 up. I'd be looking for another leg lower at least because it is an extended 5th wave. It's very unusual to have an extended 5th not come back here. Very unusual, but it's not impossible. So there's your buy area. So I think your reload. This is your reload area, but more specifically, I would like to see it get back to 0.01099 cents. So you're just gonna have to wait. You're just gonna have to wait. This looks like 3. It looks like an 3 here, connector. Another drops should hopefully be coming soon. If this was 5 up, then we could call that the low. But I think you're just in a massive extended 5th. You're likely to lose the whole thing, and then it's likely to make another wave higher. After that, at least, and then from there, who knows? ACH. Did I get that right? ACH crypto? Yeah. Alchemy. I thought we've done that one before. A, B, C, D. Yeah, C. I want to say we've done that. Let me go back. Our crypto. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to redo this if I don't have to. All right. So So we had this as our structure. We only had 3 down here. We only had 3 down, and then we had this as a triangle, right? And we were looking for this breakout in C in the triangle, and then A, B, C, and you may have got that already. And now this is a connector that's finished, and it wants to go lower. And the reason I say that is you broke the E leg. So what it looks like to me is the C leg just didn't give you much of anything, but it's likely to do something like this. Just like all the other cryptos, it just needs one more wave down. Almost every crypto I look at has an incomplete sequence lower by like 1 wave. So we're not talking like a huge thing. Like most crypto is just showing one more swing down. Like that, almost every crypto I look at shows something like this. So I think I would be looking for this, and you want to erase divergence on the higher time frame, like the weekly. So it will be a very scary drop when it happens, because it's the fear wave, it's the panic. It will be the king, taking the kingdom down. So when that line breaks, that's when you know that it's time's up and that Y is coming in. And it should take out this peak when that's done. I do believe it's coming. I can't say when exactly, but because you could still be in X, you could still pump a little more. You can pump back up here. So there is a possibility of that too. So just it's almost likely to do that. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. And test like 3.8 cents. This area. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. But would I buy it and trade that? No, I wouldn't. I would wait. I would wait, but it could. I mean, like I said, it looks like 5 off that low. That's why I think it can do that. All right, Palantir. Yeah, Palantir's been really tricky, right? Real tricky, very bullish. It's like the epitome of the time we're in this market, this cycle, right? Every there's always this. I call it the pump stock every cycle, like 2001. There was certain stocks, and so ours is this one of this cycle's time frame, and people don't want to let it go. Right, they don't believe it's just going to keep going up forever. And like when I first did Palantir, guys, Palantir, we have a weird relationship of Palantir on my channel, because we bought this back at $8 on my channel when we bottomed. We called the bottom, like literally the day it bottoms, and I feel stupid because I think I sold it in the like $22 area. And I had no idea I was going to do this. I mean, I don't think anyone did at the time. But we bought, I mean, most people that followed me, we had picked this up down here. I mean, to me, it was an easy reversal pattern. I didn't realize it would become like a mania. And I believe I sold it in the 20s here. And I was like, oh, I did good. Shit, should have held it. I still maybe one day will get lucky and get it back in the 20s if I'm very, very lucky. I don't know. I think the 40s is more probable, but I do think it's going to pull back and one more leg down. Now, I don't know how this is going to go down. I think the reason I have it like this is we have a little bit of divergence here at this bottom on the 4-hour. The daily doesn't, but the 4-hour does. I don't think that's the low. I don't think that's the low. If it is, now I'm just going to say, let's just play around. Let's just say that's the low, and it truncated, and it's that bullish. And this is the 1, 2. Well, I mean, we'll be talking prices of Palantir getting to somewhere around like $300, guys. What's its market cap where it is now? I mean, its market cap is $279 billion. So we're talking this thing maybe tripling in market cap. I mean, is this thing going to be $1 trillion company? I mean, is it worth I mean, this is where as a fundamental investor, you have to like also think like and I was speculating, like people kept asking me as this has gone up, how high can it go? I'm like, use your imagination. We're in the mania phase. It can go as high as $1 trillion market cap. And we may do it. I would not dare short this. I'm just going to give you guys and we did, and believe me, we tried to short it, but we see how we had this 3 waves. We tried to short that because that was the only opportunity to short it. But as soon as, we basically stopped out for almost no loss here. Then we left it alone. And now it's going back into mania mode. So now what's happened is everyone is going to want to short it, and they're going to get blown up. And so I don't know if it's over like this or we'll get this other rug pull. I think because the daily erased divergence, but the 4-hour didn't, it's 50-50 whether this still happens. I would say that if it does, it's way overdue for the pullback. Maybe earnings would be the catalyst. Let's look at this. No divergence there. The 45-minute shows divergence, so it shows we're in the 5 waves up. So this is over. This is almost over, right? So this is 5 waves, but this is a flat, so it should be 5 waves. So that's the trap here, right? Because it shows 5 waves. It needs to be 5 waves. It's only, and it erased it on the higher time frame, so it's showing the 3-wave nature here. So this move would come to an end, potentially in this area here, or it could turn into a flat and break this high, just pierce it, and do the same thing. But then you could erase divergence, and you need that divergence. So as of now, it's some 5th wave, 3 of 5 it's in. So I'm just going to label it. And then again, you can just use your imagination, how high you think it's going to go. I mean, honestly, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I could put the 4 here. So it depends on where I put the 4. I think probably put it up there. Probably put it up here, and then just leave it at that. So we'll see what happens. I mean, if this thing does do like a parabolic, I'll just laugh my ass off, because I mean, that tells you the kind of bubble we're in. But there's no way this company is worth $1 trillion market cap, guys, or 800 million. It's nowhere. There's no way 800 billion. There's no way it's worth that. There's no way. I mean, this is the epitome of mania, investors just being stupid, and bidding something up way beyond where it should go. There's no way it deserves $1 trillion market cap. But if this breaks out, that's where it's heading, guys. $1 trillion market cap. And it's actually insane to me to think that people will bid that up. But that's the time. This is the time. Sign of the times we're in. But this is what I'll go with. Now, if we get this, a credible opportunity, right? We won't miss it. Trust me, we won't miss that. But if it isn't, then yeah, it's gonna be 800 bills. It's gonna be $800 billion club, and possibly you'll be talking $1 trillion club, whether it deserves it or not. And again, and maybe it's invented like, how to travel through time or some shit, like something like, I don't know what it does for the government, but God, whatever it does, it must be so important that we don't, that it's just, people just can't have, can't sell it. They want to sell it. So anyway, this is the chart for now. And it is a sad chart for me, because we had this at 8, and this is a learning for me about just maybe letting things run a little longer, right? We should have just let this run a little longer, but it is what it is. It's the way it goes. All right, that's for Palantir, guys. Let's go to the next one. I got some comments here. Regional banks, if they have broke, that's the Russell. The regional banks is the Russell. If the regional breaks are breaking, if the carries breaking pivots and stuff, that means that's my sign. The Russell is going down. So that makes sense. How do I get your opinion on BA? I subscribe to yours and be willing to pay the 5. I think you just give a super chat, but BA, I will click on it. The 5, I think you just give a super chat, guys. Maybe someone can put in the directions how to do that. But I mean, BA is I'm pretty sure I have that chart done. This is the it's in this connector. We could see it go to 217 potentially in this area. We don't know yet. It's got to come back and take out 189. But whatever happens here, unfortunately, it's going lower. And we've been saying on my channel since really back in 2022 that these lows will break again. And even when we were up here, people were like, no way. And now they're like, oh, maybe you're right. And now we made this, see how you made this lower low? It made nothing to do with the company. It's guys, the economy is in the shitter right now. GDP is negative. It's going to get worse. We're going to go into a recession. I think China canceled Boeing orders, right? I mean, there's a trade war. So we didn't know all that back here. We didn't know, like, why would that happen? We thought there was going to be another plane crash or something. Little did we know what was coming. But now we know. So now we know why we're going to come down here. And then you'll have a historic, like a generational opportunity to reload on this. But as we've always said, at the end of the grand super cycle, stocks can go to zero. Maybe it needs a government bailout at some point. And I think the government will never let this company fail. So perhaps they get into trouble here and the government, helps them out or something. But I do think this will end and then a catastrophe for investors. But a lot of the industrials are going to do this. Caterpillar, you name, pick your favorite one. They're all got this coming. So it's not just Boeing. American Dream in the Philippines. Cool. STEM. Yeah, somebody was mentioning this one to me. I don't know it too well. I don't know anything about STEM, but I'll look at it. I guess this is one we've looked at before. We're looking for a pump, right? Looks like we're getting it. It double corrected. You see how we got the reaction and it double corrected on us to 3 waves. So that's okay. We'll be looking for an impulse. So it's just a different structure here. It's an ABC structure. So we're looking for an impulse out of this mess. So I would just, again, I don't know why it's so bullish all of a sudden. I don't know if its product started to work or something and it wasn't working before. Yeah, you have 5 waves there. There's your, I'll probably put the 3 here. So you like to see one more high and then you see a pullback. Again, this is the most likely path, and then you can buy that again and it should keep going higher for a while. It obviously has fractals where this has happened before, right? Big pumps are nothing new to it. And this should be another one of those. I just don't know how it's going to play out. It can easily just be a 1-2, 1-2 and just keep going vertical. So I don't know, like, what does this thing do? What is this company? It is energy storage, solar assets. Why is this even moving? I mean, I thought solar is doing bad. I don't know. They obviously did something, must have went right. Earnings. Oh, they did well. Look at that. Okay, so that was why. Okay, so maybe it's turned its company around and everyone's surprised. Yeah, so maybe it's actually turning into something. So I would say, I would say just hold long. Hold it. Don't sell it. Make the market stop you out. Because if this plays out, you should go beyond this A wave and it could go even higher. And this is what we had. So why would we want to change our opinion? All right. Did we do the 10-year? No one's asked about the 10-year, but I will go back to it just to talk about it later. Vuzy. Oh yeah, Vuzy. That one, again, I'm not giving up on that. It's the problem is that the Russell index has screwed us, guys. The small caps are not where we want to be right now. It kind of screwed us. Let's take a look at where we are with this thing. One, two, three. Yeah, so this cycle's over. No divergence there. And the 4 hour. So that could be the bottom. So maybe it's gonna trade outside the Russell a little bit, you know, which is good. But remember, if the Russell's going down, this is likely to reverse. But for right now, you know, maybe it can continue higher, finish 5, and then pull back with the Russell later. Probably something like that is what I'm betting on. So now the problem is, again, you only have 3 up, 3 up. So you need a 4 and a 5, right? But even then, you see how you have 2 peaks. You're gonna need this has to play out just like this to call that low. If not, it could still be just a corrective bounce. So it could be a corrective bounce, and this keeps going down, and then you're likely to break these lows. And then this essentially becomes a go to zero, and our whole it's or this is 5 down. That's what I would do if this break. This would be kind of 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We break the lows. Maybe we're in a huge flat off of this peak. I'd have to redo the whole chart. Let's worry about that when we get there. I think for right now, you just have to hope for some 4s and 5s with some bearish divergence at the top. I'll label it, and you can kind of like watch it play out and see what happens. But I mean, I'm worried that the market's ready for a pullback, so it doesn't have a lot of time left to do this. But if it can do this, then that's the low. And then it can pull back. You can buy the dip. But I'm worried that it's another connector wave. Okay, it worries me, but we'll just have to watch this play out some more. If it pulls back too deep, then it's just a corrective wave, and I would probably just label this as 4 and make that 5, and then that'll give us time to reassess it and see what this chart really is trying to tell us. Okay, okay, 10-year bonds. Let's take a look. So our elite members, we were talking about bond market, guys, and I gave an idea to short bonds. It's starting to work again, but could be a little too early. Again, 10-year. I'll go to the 10-year real quick. So the 10-year is a couple things. So the 10-year is tricky. So the 10-year, you had this like flat, a big bounce, and then you came up in 3, right? So we were like, oh, we can short bonds, because I think that the 20-year was in the short area, right? And that seems to be working. It's a risky trade because it's 50-50. So the bond market is stuck in the middle. If it can come back and take out 4614, I think we're going to 5455. Easy. If we can't take this out and we break back below 386, then we're heading to 32, 33. But either way, we'll end up higher in the future. So what I'm worried about is a couple things in the bond market, how to trade this. I'm worried that this is some kind of connector and we're still in 2. So what I'm thinking it could happen is you get something like this. And then this is something like that. So as a trader, I'm thinking we short bonds here, you run it up, and then you go long bonds here, and then you short them again. And you try to play this. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. Now, it's very speculative because we don't have confirmation, but I think, you know, it's worth a shot. And so far it's starting to work out. The short bonds, so here, as you can see, it's starting to turn. So if it's starting to turn, then maybe we are on the right side of the trade, right? Or maybe we might be, and again, it was risky. That's why I was saying it's not like a slam dunk trade, but it is a trade. And I do think right now that's the way to look at rates. So I'm going to give you what I think is going to happen, and you can decide what to do, what's best for you. But I think this is what I think is going to happen. Something like this, and then we're in something like this. We do something like that. And that means we do something like this. That's what I think. Now, do I have, this is what I think. You know, I think that because inflation is going to come hot first, and then it will cool off rapidly with deflation. And this is what the market makers love to do, right? They love this pattern. They're addicted to this pattern. Destroy the bulls, destroy the bears, and then we make our move higher. But the sad thing is, guys, I mean, again, this is sad because this is the rates you and I pay on stuff. It's gonna get really fugly. I mean, it's gonna get ugly. I mean, people hate Trump now. People are like, I hate Trump. I mean, God knows what they're going to say about him here. I mean, geez, what's going to happen here? I think that the way we're going, this could happen in his presidency or at the very end. If he's lucky, he dodges this, and it's right after he passes the baton on to someone else. Maybe you can delay this, sir. But, I mean, if I look at the trend, again, trying to forecast the time of this, he leaves office around 28. So yeah, I think it gives this issue to the next president. So I think this is the next president's problem. But this is a massive problem that's coming toward the end of the decade. So that will have to be solved by the country somehow. I don't know how, but we'll have to solve it. And it will be solved because once this 3 is made, you don't want a 4 and a 5 here. If we get a 4 and a 5 here, then it's going to pull back and go even higher. So you want a 3, and then once this is done, this could be a generational opportunity like your great-grandfather got to buy the bond market. We're all angry at boomers. Oh, you guys got to buy bonds when rates were like at 15% and 20, you bastards, how do you get, and you're all mad. But hey, we may get our chance. Our grandkids, great-grandkids go, oh man, you guys got to buy bonds at 10%. Oh, you luckies. We may get that chance later in this decade to buy fixed income at prices that are crazy, that we'll never see. Because once we make 3 up, we could start a historical, another downtrend that could take us back to these much lower levels or even lower. And maybe that's AI, driving deflationary pressures in the market. I don't know. Who knows? More efficient technology catching up. Deflationary effects, that the era of abundance, right, they say is coming because labor is going to be so cheap soon, automation and AI. But right now we have to get through this problem. So I think the bond market is like this. If it's like this, then you should be short in bonds like we already did. Our elite group, we already mentioned this trade. Now this trade's over. It's already reacted. It's already reacted here. But if it holds, that'd be a good trade. But like I said, I wouldn't get addicted to it because I think there'll be, a slam down in bonds there. Long the TLT. And I think I still have my buy TLT here. I think I wrote this 6 months ago. Buy TLT here. So we'll still watch that. We'll still watch that. Buy TLT here. Everyone bought TLT here. No, buy it here. That's where you want to buy it. All right, so that's the bond market, guys. ZIM's tied up with this shipping stuff. The Dow, I don't think it's part of the Dow transports, but I mean transportation, logistics. I mean you go on the internet and read the information. There's the ships or empty, and you know, things are slowing down out there. So I wouldn't think this would do well, right? Wouldn't do well. So let's take a look at where we're at. Looks like we're double correcting higher. So we've got to 1626, 1712. So there's more upside in this reaction higher. Let's look at let's see if that lows in or not. Let's see if that lows in. Or are we going to go lower? A little bit of divergence on the 4-hour and on the daily. So this is why I don't have it as a buy on my group yet, our lead member, because this could make one more leg down in two. Like it could still be in Y here for one more leg lower. So I don't want to chase it here, although it could still tag 1629, but it needs to take out 1884 to call the low in or make 5 waves off the low, and you have neither of those. So I would be careful you're not just caught up in another connector for one more push down, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's what's going to happen. So just be careful if you're in it. All right. So I got through a lot of different questions. I think I got through everybody's questions. So we'll wrap it up here. You know, let's take a look at how we're doing. Again, I wasn't surprised to see the dip and rip scenario, right? The dip and rip scenario, and that's what we got, dip and rip. But that's just think of all the opportunity it's going to create on the short side of the equation. What I think the real nasty thing is if we don't get the 570 and they drop the market on everyone and they do something like this. And again, this is the nasty thing. Let's say they break it up to like 562 and then they drop it like this and then they come back up like that later. We need to watch for that. And I think that is what I'm starting to think we may get. I'm starting to think we may get it. I don't know, because there's just too many people think, oh, it's the comfortable ride to 570. I'm just going to easy peasy. You know, I don't know if the market's going to make it that simple. But if it does, of course, we'll short that area. But if my guess is there's a surprise in store for the market somewhere in this area, and then a surprise for the bears down here. This is my guess. This is just what I'm thinking right now. Just like today's dip and rip, the dip and rip higher. And, you know, good for them. You're making money. And again, we watch the futures. We do have the future boxes here that could play into it. Russell not responding to all the bullishness. Interesting divergence. The Dow still can't get over this April 9th high. Dow futures. Weird. How about Bitcoin? Jammed up. Oil down. Gold. Oh, good. Gold's making a move lower. Great. Cool. Maybe the market sell-off starts when gold finally hits this area. Maybe it's that simple. Gold goes higher, the market goes down. Right? Silver may break down, may double correct. Japanese yen. I think the central bank wants to let's print some more yen. Let's pump that market. Let's pump stocks. God knows why they're addicted to pumping the stock market. I guess we'll eventually read books about that and why they were so, you know, I think it's favors for Trump to help him out. It's part of something. That's what I think. You're trying to help him out. UVIX, let's see the after hour VIX, lower. Which I knew the VIX, we didn't really get a good breakout signal. The UVIX we did. So if the UVIX breaks these levels, we could really see some selling in the UVIX. So, yeah. Yeah, so the upgrade to the elite service, it's elite service is $50 a month, and I cover every stock, every symbol that I can track, and I listen to your suggestions as well that you DM me. And the upgrade, I think it's done through YouTube, and I want to say you want to hit the join button or something, and then it gives you the option. I'm sure there's a way to figure it out. It's done through YouTube. It's not done through me or anything. there's a way to upgrade your membership, or I think some people have canceled and then rejoin, and I think that's worked as well. Although I get the cancellation, but I that's the one thing about YouTube is when someone cancels and then rejoins at a higher level, it just says you canceled, so it's kind of messes your mind up. As you're like, oh, people are canceled, but they're really just upgrading. So YouTube's got to fix that. That's a glitch. Or because I have to go into data and actually search and look for the name to know that, and I figured that was what was happening, because I was getting cancellations, and then my members were going up. I'm like, how's this be? Oh, people are actually upgrading, but YouTube just sees it as a cancellation, and they don't and they send you that. So it's real strange. So YouTube's got to fix that glitch, but whatever. Okay, looks like I got one. Always get one last call. All right, Clove, CLOV, Clover Health Investments. I assume that's it. There's no crypto, or do you mean yeah, Clover Health Invest? I assume this is what you mean, Clover Health Investments. And tell me if that's wrong. So we had this B. And now we have our C. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's perfect. It looks perfect, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, a perfect flat. Right? This. That's what I would label it. I would label it just like that. There's no reason to label it any different. I'll check the divergences in a minute. Yeah, so that's okay. You want to see the divergence between that 4 and that 3 and the 5 there. And then let's go to the higher time frames. Now see, I would have liked to seen it erase it on the higher time frames. We didn't. But let's look at this off the lows. So you see, we don't have divergence on that peak. So I won't leave this labeled like this. I don't want to mislead you. So there is a possibility, and again, I don't want to be too bearish, but I have to tell you what we see, that it is also a 1, 2, and it goes even lower in a flat. It can do that. So be very careful. We need more upside, and we're not getting it. I think it's in the middle area. It's in the area of indecision. So I think you have to wait. If it breaks 279, you're going to get that very bearish outcome in the flat. You're going to get this to break down, and you have no chart support, it looks like, until $2.20, $2. So, or if you can take back out 385, well then then we maybe put the low in. So I think it's you'll have to decide and do what's best for you. But it only shows 3 up, so I'd be very careful getting too bullish. Even though it did has a really beautiful look, but it didn't bottom in the way that I would have liked it to get all bulled up on it. So I just keep an eye on this. But if you're stuck in it, you could just hold it. But I know if you break 279, I'd be really careful. You could be in with 3 of 3 to the downside. Yeah, so yeah, XBI I think is part. It kind of trades somewhat with the Russell. I don't know where. I hadn't looked at it in a while. There's a key level in the XBI, right? It's got to hold above, right? 61. Now this is a nice reaction off that low. It had to do that. It has to do that. It had to do this. If it doesn't do that, guys, this thing is a massive head and shoulders top, and it's going down to the $30, and all those biotechs are gone. Are toast. So it's great. It's bullish. You see that 5 waves up. It has to. It's like I call it backing into the low. Now you have 5 up. Now that doesn't mean nothing to me because you have an A, B, C, right? So it could be a connector. So be careful. So good luck. Good luck on the XBI. The XBI is it's like the rest of the market. it has to hold 66.87. I mean, and it's good that it's creating that separation. If you get a 3 waves pullback, maybe you can try to buy it. I mean, what the hell? Buy lab up and see what happens, right? But wait for a pullback. You know, wait for a pullback, right? Wait for a nice little pullback. It's coming. The daily cycle will give you, and then give it a shot, you know, give it a shot. And if you're right, this thing's going on, you know, it's going to take off. And if you're wrong, okay, you lose a little bit. And then this thing's going to be like it's going to be a crash. It's going to be a crazy crash. And you got to be careful because, right, isn't that Kennedy and all that, the biotechs and pharma tariffs and all that shit, all that hasn't happened yet. So maybe that's the news that creates the dramatic selling that has not happened in this sector yet. So be careful out there. If I was a seller of biotech instruments, I would be waiting to time my sales when that news emerged, so to amplify my gains, right, and pain I want to endure on the market. So sellers are probably holding back, waiting for that moment when the pharma tariffs go on, which Trump said he's going to do, and then all the regulation comes from Kennedy. When all that happens, then all those sellers will emerge. And that's probably what I'll be waiting for that news to drop, then let the market react, then see where things are. Because that news is going to shake the markets up. And I do have the XLV going down lower. So, and many of the biotechs with it. Okay, guys, good night. Talk to you later. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Big tech again. See if they can keep this pump going. But the time